Hello, good morning, my dear students. Punishloka Ahilyadevi Hope Solapur University, Solapur is celebrating the National Mathematics Day 2021. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we are gathered here for the Popular Mathematics Lecture Week. This is the second day for the Popular Mathematics Lecture Week. For today's guest lecture, we are having Dr. Sachin Ballal sir from the Savitribai Phule Pune University. Thank you sir for accepting our invitation.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
now I will request Mr. Kandi sir to give an introduction of our today's guest.
Okay, sir. Am I audible?
Yes sir.
Okay. Good morning to all dear student and respected sir. Punyashloki Ahilya Devi Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur, School of Computational Science and Department of Mathematics organizes the popular Mathematics Lecture Week on this occasion, on the occasion of National Mathematics Day 2021. So today, our guest is Dr. Sachin Bhanudas Ballar sir. He's an assistant professor at Department of Mathematics Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. So, Sir did his MSc degree from Savitribai Phule, Pune University in 2007, and they qualified the set exam in 2008 and completed his PhD in 2016 in Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. So their professional experience is that the sir is lecturer at ZB Patil College, Dhule from 27 2008, 29 7 2008 to 13 11 2008. So since 2008, now they are working as assistant professor at Savitribai Phule Pune University, and their special achievements are sir got the first prize and the best paper presentation award in pure mathematics organized by Vijnana Parishad of India 2018, and the Padma Shri late N.S. Venkateshan gold medal for the best PhD thesis in mathematics for the year 2015 and 16 organized by Savitribai Phule Pune University. So till now, they are presented 16 papers in various subjects and various conferences and workshops. So they also worked in different projects such as algebraic and topological aspects of multiplicative lattices sponsored by SPPU and capacity building program in biodiversity assessment of Western Maharashtra sponsored by UGC. So thank you. So this is the small short introduction of our today's guest. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kandi, for your kind introduction. And also, I thank all the organizers, especially Dr. Jyoti Masle Madam and our team for organizing such a wonderful event for motivating young researchers to do the further research, motivate them for the competitive exams like NetSet and say maybe GATE or various exams for the other institutes of say central institutes. So this is a very good platform where you can listen to the various experts from uh, renowned institutes. And so here my topic for today's lecture is the continuity and uniform continuity. So very little things I assume. So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I expect the questions and interactions from the students. Okay. So I hope that the session will be interactive, and the topic what I have chosen for this lecture is continuity and uniform continuity. Okay, so to the at the beginning of the lecture, let me give you some say bullet kind of items. You just note them, and we require these bullets or statements throughout the session. Okay, so I request everyone, each participant, to note these statements, because on these statements we are discussing. So my lecture is depending on these statements. Okay, so quickly, one by one, note these statements and keep these statements ready with you. A continuous function on a compact set is uniformly continuous. See, this notation I will use for the continuity. Instead of writing this continuous, I will say CONTS. So please understand that it is continuous. Number 2 statement, if function is continuous, and its derivative is bounded, in the domain, say A, where A is a subset of R, then f is uniformly continuous. So U dot C dot means uniformly continuous. Statement number 3, note down, if F and G are uniformly continuous, then their composition, then their sum, their difference, and the composition are uniformly continuous. Statement number 4, if F and G are uniformly continuous and they are bounded, then their product F into G. Here I am saying composition, here I am saying the multiplication is uniformly continuous. So you also keep these statements with you so that you will understand the further discussion. You will take a part. Every Lipschitz function is uniformly continuous. Every function satisfies Lipschitz condition. So what is that? We'll discuss. Number 6, if 0 is less than p by q less than 1, and if that p by q is a rational number, then every function, then f of x, which is of the type p by q, such a function is uniformly continuous. Number 7, if f is uniformly continuous and the function is bounded below by k, which is non-zero or positive, then in that case the function 1 by f is uniformly continuous. Statement number 8, if f is uniformly continuous, then it maps bounded sets or bounded set to bounded set. Means the image of bounded set under a uniformly continuous function is bounded. Statement number 9, if f is uniformly continuous, then it maps Cauchy sequence to a Cauchy sequence. And statement number 10, if f is uniformly continuous, if and only if is uniformly continuous, if and only for any pair of sequences, say xn, yn in A, which is a subset of R, xn minus yn tends to 0 implies f of xn minus f of yn will also tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. Have you noted all the statements? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So I expect a response and an interaction. Okay. So let us begin with some examples. So before that, what is meant by continuity and what is meant by uniform continuity? Okay. So let us write down the formal definition. So I expect why I have chosen this topic, because so what I know is that there are students from first year MSc and students from second year MSc. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this topic you might have learned in case of third year BSc, but this is very useful. It has a very good applications as far as the analysis is concerned, because if the function is uniformly continuous, then the function is continuous, and continuity is the main part of analysis, because most of the topics of analysis are related to the continuity. So continuity is a very important concept, and uniform continuity, because every uniformly continuous function is a continuous function. So if you know uniformity about the function, then definitely you can talk about the continuity of the function. So continuous function means, so here basically we are considering functions from R to R. R means set of real numbers to set of real numbers. This is our restriction. We are restricting our domain and codomain to the set of real numbers and subsets of that. So function is continuous means what we know. So let me write a formal definition of continuity. A function f from A to R, where A is the subset of R, is said to be continuous. So this is the short form that I am using. Said to be continuous if continuous on A. Continuous on A means it is continuous at every point of A. If and only means a definition. We are saying that this is for every epsilon positive, for there exists delta positive. For every epsilon positive, there exists delta positive, and this is also true for every x in A and for every x naught in A. What is true? Whenever mod of x minus x naught is less than delta, implies mod of f of x minus f of x naught is less than epsilon. So all these quantities are involved: x, x naught, epsilon here, and delta. So in this, if this condition is true, this is true for every epsilon, there must exist a delta, and this delta depends on epsilon and a point in A. And not continuous means what? Function is not continuous. F is not continuous. What is the meaning? So here, for every will replaced by there exists. There exists will be replaced by for every. for every will be replaced by what? It will be replaced by there exists. Okay, there exists x in A, and this is replaced by there exists x naught in A, and satisfying the property x minus x naught less than delta. But what is true? But mod f of x minus f of x naught, this quantity is greater equal epsilon. This is about continuity. Now just I'll replace the same argument for uniform continuity. For every epsilon there exists delta positive for every x naught in A, but this delta depends only on epsilon. It doesn't depend on the points. Then in that case we say that this function is uniformly continuous. And not uniformly continuous means again there exists epsilon for every delta positive, there exists a point x naught in A satisfying this property. Okay, so from the definition itself we can conclude that every uniformly continuous function is continuous. Is it okay? So now our focus is on uniformly continuous functions. So let us use the statement 1 to 10 which we have written, and let us verify which functions are uniformly continuous and continuous functions, because once it is uniformly continuous then it is continuous function. And we'll see some examples of continuous functions which are not uniformly continuous. Is it okay? So far,
Yes, sir.
theme is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So let us discuss one by one. So let us start with simple example. So f of x equal to x, where domain A is equal to R. Is f uniformly continuous? Is f uniformly continuous? How you decide which criterion you can use to conclude that it is uniformly continuous or not? Which criterion you will use? Can you use the first criterion? Continuous function on a compact set is uniformly continuous. Is this compact?
No, sir.
This is not compact. So you cannot use first criterion. So what about second? The second criterion says that f is continuous and derivative is bounded. Then f is uniformly continuous. Yes or no?
Yes,
Is
sir.
f continuous function?
Yes.
Is f a continuous function? So here the knowledge of continuous function is essential. Is this a continuous function? F is a function from R to R and it is identity. Okay, so this you can check that this is a continuous function. And what about its derivative? What is the derivative of f? What is the derivative of f with respect to x? Is 1. So what is modulus of 1 is 1. So this quantity is bounded by, you can say 1 or you can say 2, 3, whatever number which is greater equal 1. So this is bounded, call it as m. So function is continuous and derivative is bounded. Therefore, f is uniformly continuous. Okay, f is uniformly continuous. Can you use any other condition to verify that this function is uniformly continuous? So here, very first thing that I have noted here is the Lipschitz condition. So what is the Lipschitz condition? A function satisfying mod f of x minus f of y, this must be less equal m times mod x minus y. And this is true for every xy belongs to A. And f is a function from A to R, and A is a subset of R. This condition, we call it as a Lipschitz condition. Whether this function satisfies Lipschitz condition, is this function satisfies
Yes, sir.
Lipschitz condition? F of x minus f of y, this must be equal to, what is f of x? Is x.
Yes.
What is f of y? Is y. Is it less equal 2 times mod x minus y? Yes. Okay, so this condition is satisfied by function f. So also by using the Lipschitz condition, this function is uniformly continuous. So try this. F of x equal to sin x. Now quickly tell me which condition you can apply. Can you use condition 2? Is f continuous? Is f continuous?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The
Yes.
derivative is bounded.
And what is its derivative?
Cos x, and it is bounded
Cos
by.
x. And is it bounded?
Yes.
Yes, sir. By
So
1.
therefore conclude that the function is uniformly continuous. Understood? What
Yes,
else
sir.
you can use? Can you use Lipschitz condition?
Yes, sir.
What is Lipschitz condition? F of x minus f of y must be less equal m times mod x minus y. Is it true? Is it true that sin
Yes,
x
sir.
minus sin y, is it less equal m times mod x minus y?
Yes, sir. True.
Okay. How is that? So for that you must use the mean value theorem. What is the mean value theorem? So f of b minus f of a upon b minus a equal to f dash of c. If you remember, where f is a continuous function on closed interval ab and f is differentiable on open interval ab, then there exists a point c in open interval ab such that f dash of c equal to fb minus fa upon b minus a. So substitute this. Instead of b, let me say fy x. So this is y minus x or x minus y. Then that value becomes, substitute the values of what is f of y? Is sin x, let me write sin x minus sin y upon x minus y. That is equal to f dash of c. What is f dash of c? F of x is sin x. What is f dash of c?
Cos C.
The derivative is cos x. I substitute the value of x to be equal to c. So what we'll get here? It's cos c. Is it okay? So if you take a modulus on both the sides, what we'll get? Sin x minus sin y. This quantity is equal to mod cos c into mod x minus y. What is mod cos c? Whatever
Less than
that
equal to
value
1.
is less equal 1 times mod x minus y. So what is m here? What is m here is 1. Okay. So also this function satisfies Lipschitz condition. Therefore it is uniformly continuous by two criterions. So now let us try quickly some examples where we can apply these conditions, and slowly we will take your questions. Okay, whether it is uniformly continuous or not, something like that. So let us take f of x equal to x square on, say, let domain set to be equal to open 0 1. What happens if you take it is open 0 2, or why it is closed 0 2? What happens if it is 0 to infinity? What happens if it is equal to, say, a to infinity if a is greater than 0? Yes, please. What happens if we take f of x equal to x square on open interval 0 1? Is it uniformly continuous?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
sir.
what
It
I
is.
told.
How?
Sir, continuous function on a compact set is uniform.
Is it a compact set? Is this set a compact set?
No sir, close नहीं है.
This is not compact. You can use this
But
here.
derivative bound होगा sir. इस domain
Is
में.
derivative bounded? Is the function continuous first? X square is continuous
continuous.
on open interval 0, 1. And what about its derivative? What is the derivative?
2x.
2x.
2x. And is it bounded?
Yes, by 2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Therefore, this function is uniformly, x square is uniformly continuous on open interval 0, 1. Now let us discuss what about x square on close 0 to 2. Is it uniformly continuous?
Yes sir, this will be by first criteria.
Why? By which condition?
Continuous function on a compact set.
Continuous function by condition 1 or statement 1, whichever. Okay. Now let us discuss, is it uniformly continuous on open interval 0 to infinity? What about this? We are considering same function and we are discussing whether it is uniformly continuous on various sets. On open interval 0, 1, it is uniformly continuous. On close interval 0, 1, it is uniformly continuous because it is a continuous function on compact set. Is x square uniformly continuous on open 0 infinity? And you can ask the question, is it uniformly continuous on R whole set? What do you think?
No, sir.
No. Why? Answer is no. Why? What is the problem? Yes, please. So let
Sir,
us.
delta is depends on that epsilon.
So let us prove this. Let or choose epsilon to be equal to 1, which is greater than 0, and let delta to be greater than 0. So take a point, let x naught to be equal to say 1 by delta, and take x to be equal to x naught plus delta by 2. This is the construction. Okay, so because we have to prove that this function is not uniformly continuous. So this is the construction. So for that we required some epsilon and delta and point x naught and point x. Okay, so this is a construction. So construction, there is no concrete way. You have to develop the techniques. So x naught is 1 by delta, x is x naught plus delta by 2. And look at for these points, what is the value of x minus x naught? What is that? X minus x naught. X is x naught plus delta by 2 minus x naught is how much? Delta by 2. Because you are doing x naught plus delta by 2 minus x naught is delta by 2. This is less equal delta or strictly less than delta. We want x minus x naught to be less than delta. So that's why specifically we have chosen x to be x naught plus delta by 2. What about their images? What about f of x minus f of x naught? What about f of x minus f of x naught? What is the value of f of x? The function f of x is x square. So what is the value? It is x naught plus delta by 2 square minus f of x naught is 1 by delta square. So if you do this, or if you want, you can write down this value as x naught square. Okay, so x naught square you can cancel. So what is this value? So x naught square goes. It is 2 times delta by 2 plus delta by 2 bracket square. So what is that? What is this value? Please calculate. So this is 2x naught delta by 2 plus delta by 2 bracket square. Okay, because x naught square goes. And what is x naught? X naught is 1 by delta. So 2 cancels and this x naught delta becomes 1. So this value becomes 1 plus delta square by 4. And this value 1 plus delta square by 4, this value is greater or equal epsilon, because epsilon is 1. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So what we got, even if this value x minus x naught is less than delta, the image difference, that is mod of f of x minus f of x naught, is not small. Whenever x and x naught are close, their images we expect to be close, but they are not close, they are far away. They are not at the distance of less than epsilon. Their distance is greater than epsilon or greater equal epsilon. So what we can conclude, that this function is not uniformly continuous. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here what we can note, this function f equal to x square is a continuous function, but it is not uniformly continuous. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this function is continuous but not uniformly continuous. So what is our conclusion about the uniform continuous function? If it is uniformly continuous, then the function is continuous, but the converse is not true. Here is the example. Okay. So now what happens to is that x square function. So what is our next set where we have to check? So this we have checked. Now this we have concluded that this function is not in x square is not uniformly continuous on this set. Now check on this set, close interval a to infinity where a is positive, and on R, f of x square on close interval a to open infinity where a is greater than 0. Is it compact? Is it a compact set?
No, sir.
No. So how you justify that? Is this uniformly continuous? Is it uniformly continuous? What do you think?
नहीं है sir.
नहीं है? Why? Why not?
So if you consider fx minus fy, then it will be like a is x square minus y square, and if we split in, it will be
So
like
let me write.
x plus
Let me
y.
write. Wait. Let me write. What you are saying? F of x minus f of y
Is equal to mod of x square minus y square,
mod of x square minus y square. Huh. So
and this will be equal to mod of x plus y dot mod of x minus y.
very good. So
First part will be मतलब second part will be unbounded, so मतलब x plus y का जो mod है तो
so how you can conclude that this is not uniformly continuous? What is the criterion? Can you apply this criterion? Can you try this? Will you try this? Yes, please. if you take function gx to be equal to 1 upon x square, is this function, is gx continuous on close interval a to infinity if a is positive? Is this function continuous on this? So where the continuity breaks? So continuity is a function if fx upon gx are two functions, and if gx is not equal to 0 on the domain, and if function fx is continuous and function gx is continuous, then the quotient function is continuous. Did you remember that? When a quotient function is continuous, provided numerator must be continuous, denominator must be continuous, and it is defined on the domain. So is the denominator function continuous on this domain?
Yes, sir.
Because what is the problematic point? What is the point of discontinuity? Is x
0.
equal to 0. Okay, so this function g of x is continuous on this set. Now, is this function bounded below? Is this function bounded below? Is this function bounded below?
So f is equal to x square. Yes, it is bounded by yeah, bounded below by 0. No?
Bounded below
F
by
or g, sir.
G. Is G function bounded below?
Yes, sir, it is always positive now, so bounded below by 0.
Bounded below by 0 or bounded below by a, 1 by a or 1 by a square. So all the values 1 by x square, are they greater or equal 1 upon a square? Because
Yes.
x belongs to a to infinity, it means that a is less equal x. So a square is less equal x square. And therefore 1 upon x square will be less equal 1 upon a square. So this function is bounded above by 1 by a square. Okay. So can we use this condition? So let us verify that this function, let us verify this on first set of reals. And then we'll go to the closed interval a to infinity. First verify that this function will be, is it uniformly continuous on R? Is this uniformly continuous on R? So for that, which condition you can use? So is it true? Can you use the first condition, that is function is continuous on a compact set, so R is not compact, so you cannot use this. Can you use this? F is continuous and derivative is bounded, so you cannot use this. No need here. So let us go to the next page. Can we say that Lipschitz condition is true on R? No, again. So you cannot use this condition. Can you use this condition? No. Can you use this condition? Can you use this condition? There was one more condition. It maps Cauchy sequence to a Cauchy sequence. So this is, so use this condition number 9. What is that? If it's uniformly continuous, then it maps Cauchy sequence to a Cauchy sequence. So take a Cauchy sequence xn to be equal to, say, what is the Cauchy sequence you can consider which will not map to a Cauchy sequence? Or also you can use this condition. Take two sequences, say xn equal to, say for example, say xn is say n and yn is say n plus 1 by n, and try what is xn minus yn. What is xn minus yn is 1 by n, and this will tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. What about f of xn minus f of yn? We are applying condition number 10. F is uniformly continuous if and only for any pair of sequences xn yn in A, xn minus yn tends to 0 implies f of xn minus f of yn tends to 0. So we are using this condition. So what is f of xn? F of x is x square. So what will be f of xn?
n square.
N square. Minus f of yn is n plus 1 by n square. What is that? That is equal to?
N square. Yes.
So n square minus n square plus 2 plus 1 by n square. That is equal to minus 2 minus 1 upon n square. And is this tending to 0?
No.
As n tends to infinity. Where it will be tending? This will be tending to minus 2.
Yes.
Doesn't tending to 0. Okay. So therefore, by that condition number 10, f is not uniformly continuous. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So f is not uniformly continuous on this. So similarly, can you apply this technique to verify that this is not uniformly continuous on this set? Sorry, this is uniformly continuous on this close A to infinity. So likewise, consider, say example, say, is it true that f of x equal to, say, sine of mod x on R? Is it uniformly continuous on R? Is f uniformly continuous on R? So what is this function sine of mod x? This is equal to, you can express it as, so let me write this as h of g of x. What is my h of x first? Is sine x. And what is my g of x? Is mod x. So what is h of g of x? What is h of g of x? Is h of mod x. And what is h of mod x? H of x is sine x. So what is h of mod x? It's sine mod x. And that is nothing but f of x. So f of x is nothing but the composition of two functions. And what do we know about these two functions? Is sine x uniformly continuous? We have proved.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, if you verify, is mod x uniformly continuous on R? Is mod x function uniformly continuous on R? We can verify. How we can verify? Let us use the Lipschitz condition. What is this? Modulus of mod x minus mod y. Is it less equal mod x minus y?
Yes.
Is it true? This is the simple condition which you have studied in case of metric spaces. Mod of x minus y is less equal mod x minus y. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So therefore, this quantity, so what we have proved that this function f of x is equal to mod x satisfies Lipschitz condition. M is of your choice. You take m to be greater equal 1. So this function satisfies Lipschitz condition. Therefore, this function is uniformly continuous on R. So we have two functions and both are uniformly continuous on R, and we have the condition which says that
Their composition is uniformly continuous.
very good. If f and g are uniformly continuous, then their composition is uniformly continuous. Is it okay? So by using this statement, this function fx is uniformly continuous on R. Okay, so likewise we'll try more examples. So these 10 statements are very important. Okay, do you realize that? So by using, if you remember these 10 statements, then you will verify most of the examples are uniformly continuous or not uniformly continuous. Okay, so let us try some more examples. Say f of x equal to cube root of x on open interval 0 to infinity. Is this function uniformly continuous on this set? So if you remember, there is a one condition. This is called as if p by q is a rational number, then f of x equal to x to the power p by q is uniformly continuous. Every function of the type x to the power p by q, where p by q is a rational number which is in between 0 to 1, is uniformly continuous. This is a very important criterion. And now this function, we can write it is x to the power, what is that?
1 by 3.
1 by 3. So f of x equal to x to the power 1 by 3. And what is this 1 by 3? Is a rational number and which is in between 0 and 1. Therefore, by that condition, by whatever condition, this function fx is uniformly continuous. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us take example. Say consider f of x equal to 1 plus root x on, say, open interval 0 to infinity. Is this function uniformly continuous? Is f of x equal to 1 plus root x uniformly continuous?
Yes sir. Third
Yes,
condition
How? How?
root x sir हो जाएगा p by q वाले property condition से and then
Very
one
good. By this property, this is uniformly continuous, and this is uniformly continuous. This is a constant function. Okay, it will satisfy most of the conditions. So condition number 1, that is this function is continuous and derivative is bounded, so it is uniformly continuous. Or satisfy Lipschitz condition, it is uniformly continuous. Okay, and we have the statement where sum of two uniformly continuous function becomes uniformly continuous. So that's why this function is uniformly continuous. Clear? Okay, so let us verify. What about 1 upon square root of x on the same set? Is it uniformly continuous? Is this function uniformly continuous? Is this function uniformly continuous?
yes, denominator भी uniformly continuous है तो और greater than equal to 0 1 by
Let me write. This function is of the type h of x upon g of x, where this is said
continuous ना
this is continuous. So what? So use this condition number 7. Here, if the function is uniformly continuous and if it is bounded below by some value, if it is bounded below, then the quotient 1 upon f is uniformly continuous. Use it. Okay, where is? So now just we have noted that this function is uniformly continuous. Yes or no? 1 plus square root of x, just we have argued that this is uniformly continuous. And we are using which condition? This. F is uniformly continuous. What is our F? What is our F? In that case, so
1
let us
plus root x.
1 plus root x is uniformly continuous on open interval 0 to infinity, number 1. And is it bounded below? This condition we have to use. This function g must be greater equal k. Mod g must be greater equal k. Is it true? What is mod gx is equal to mod 1 plus root x. This must be bounded below. What it is bounded below by? What is the first value? Is 0. It is bounded below by 1. Agree?
Yes, sir.
And which is strictly greater than 0. If you so that's why I'm saying that you just keep all these conditions with you so that you can immediately refer. So because I have to see down and up. So this is the function which is uniformly continuous on this set and it is bounded below by a non-zero value. Then by that condition, then by condition whatever. What is that? 7 or 8. What is that condition? Number 7. Okay. Keep that page in front of you all the time. Then by condition number 7, 1 by g is
Uniformly
continuous. What is your 1 by g? Is it fx? Is it f?
continuous.
Okay. So this is uniformly continuous. So this function is uniformly continuous. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So let us try some more examples. Say f of x equal to say 1 upon 1 plus x square on set of reals. Is it uniformly continuous? Is it uniformly continuous? What do you think? What is f of x minus f of y? This is equal to 1 upon 1 plus x square minus 1 upon 1 plus y square. If you cross multiply, what we will get? 1 plus y square minus 1 plus x square upon 1 plus x square into 1 plus y square. This value is equal to, this is equal to, so if you simplify, this is equal to y square minus x square upon 1 plus x square into 1 plus y square. This is equal to y minus x into y plus x upon these values. And now that is less equal. This quantity is less equal. I want this to be x minus y times something here. So that is my m. That will be my m. So what is that? So let me write this expression to be equal to, this is our target. This is your expectation. This is our claim. So this can be written as, this is equal to x upon this into this. So you know what is meant by this, plus y upon this into this times x minus y. And now what do we know about? Is it true that x is less than x square plus 1? Y is strictly less than y square plus 1. Is it true? Yes or no?
Yes.
And therefore this means that x upon x square plus 1 is strictly less than 1. Similarly, y upon y square plus 1 is strictly less than 1. This is okay? This is okay?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, if you multiply something here and something here, that also will be less than 1.
Yes.
So therefore, this quantity is strictly less than 1 and this quantity is strictly less than 1. Therefore, this quantity is strictly less than 2 times mod x minus y. Agree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this part I did here. X upon, because this one quantity is x square plus 1 and other quantity is y square plus 1. X upon x square plus 1 is strictly less than 1. So if you multiply this y square plus 1, again that quantity is strictly less than 1. Similarly, this quantity is strictly less than 1. Therefore, this mod of this quantity plus this quantity is strictly less than 2 times mod x minus y. So we started here and we have proved that this is less than 2 times mod x minus y. And this is true for every xy in R. It means that this function satisfies Lipschitz condition and therefore this function is uniformly continuous. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what about 1 upon 1 plus x to the power 4? What about f of x equal to 1 upon 1 plus x to the power 4? Can we apply same trick? Can we apply same trick?
Is it on R, sir?
On R. On R.
Okay, okay.
Can we apply same trick? Okay. Try same trick. So consider simple example f of x equal to e raised to x on say open interval 0, 1. F of x equal to e raised to x, exponential function. We know that this function is continuous. Exponential function is continuous. Now, is this function uniformly continuous on open 0, 1? Is this function uniformly continuous on open 0, 1?
सर क्लोज 0 1 पर शो कर सकते हैं यूनिफॉर्म में, तो उसके सबसेट पर भी 0 1 पर हो जाएगा.
Very good. So extend this function to close interval 0, 1, compact subset containing this. So because this e to the power x is uniformly continuous on close interval 0, 1, therefore it is uniformly continuous on open interval 0, 1. This is again one of the trick. If you get some function, if you extend this function to the compact set and if it is continuous, then definitely it will be uniformly continuous on the subset of it. That is again one of the important trick to check whether it is uniformly continuous or not. Okay, so likewise, say f of x equal to e raised to minus 1 by x on say open interval 0 to infinity. Say to the start, take it to be 0 to 1 so that you can have a similar argument. Can you extend this function on close interval 0 to 1?
नो सर.
So let us first check it for e to the power 1 by x. Is this function uniformly continuous on 0 to infinity, say? Is this function uniformly continuous on 0 to infinity. Is this function continuous? Is this function continuous?
Composition.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Composition
Is
of
f
two continuous.
continuous on open interval 0 to infinity? Because the only problematic point is 0. So on 0 is not there. So it is continuous on this set. Okay. So now think of the points. Say consider x equal to, or xn, a sequence xn equal to, say 1 upon log n, and yn equal to 1 upon log of n plus 1. So what about xn minus yn? Is it small? 1 upon log n minus 1 upon log of n plus 1. And will that tends to 0? Will that tends to 0 as n tends to infinity? Yes or no? What is 1 upon log n minus 1 upon log of n plus 1? Will that tends to 0? And what is f of xn minus f of yn? What is f of xn?
E raised to 1 by log n.
E raised to 1 by log n minus e raised to 1 by log of n plus 1.
N plus 1.
So what is that value?
So e raised to log n, you know, e raised to log n minus e raised to log n plus 1.
So e raised to log n, correct. E raised to log of n plus 1.
So n
Because it
minus
is 1 by x. It is e raised to log n minus e raised to log n plus 1. That is equal to
n minus n plus 1.
n minus n plus 1. If you take a modulus, this value becomes 1, and that doesn't tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. What about this? Whether it will tends to 0? Check. That this will tends to 0, but this image sequence doesn't tends to 0. Therefore, what is the conclusion? F is
Not uniformly continuous.
not uniformly continuous. Okay, so please check this. So likewise, similarly, what happens if you replace it by minus 1? Okay, so it's exercise. Very interesting. Now try f of x equal to e raised to x into cos of 1 by x on close interval 0 to 1. Now this is a product of two functions. Are these two functions uniformly continuous, and are these two functions bounded?
0 पर डिफाइंड नहीं है ना cos of 1 by 0.
Huh? But it
Cos
is
of 1 by 0 पर डिफाइंड नहीं है ना.
okay. So let us change the domain to be equal to, say, open interval 0 to close 1. say defined to be equal to open interval 0 to close 1. Okay, so now check here. Is this function uniformly continuous? So shall I tell you the answer? Answer is no. This is not uniformly continuous. So not means you have a criterion to check. Can you find a sequence xn, sequence yn, so that xn minus yn will tends to 0, but f of xn minus f of yn doesn't tends to 0 as n tends to infinity.
So 1 by n pi and 1 upon 2n minus 1 times pi by 2.
1 by n pi. Will that be okay, n pi? So let us verify for n pi. And what is yn sequence?
N pi 0, 0. 1 upon 4n minus pi by 2.
4?
4n minus 1 pi by 2
4n minus 1
times pi by 2.
into pi by 2 that you are saying?
Yes, sir.
4n minus 1 pi by 2 that you are saying? So let us verify. What is xn minus yn? Is equal to 1 upon n pi minus 1 upon 4n minus 1 pi by 2. So this will tends to 0 as n tends to infinity, because this will tends to 0 and this will tends to 0. What about f of xn minus f of yn? What is f of xn in that case? F of x is this. What is f of xn?
e raised to 1 upon n pi. So xn को 1 upon 2n pi कर दीजिए. हमने तो
xn 2n pi. And here?
Oh, same.
This is okay?
Yes.
Okay. So this is equal to e raised to
1 upon 2n pi
1 upon 2n pi
of 2n
into cos of
2n pi
2n pi minus e raised to 1 upon 4n minus 1 pi by 2 into cos of 4n minus 1 pi by 2. So this value becomes 0. And what about this value? What is this cos of 2n pi?
1,
It is
sir.
like a 0. Okay,
1.
so this value is 1. So this value becomes e raised to 1 upon 2n pi. And what is e raised to 1 upon 2n pi? Whatever that value that doesn't tends to 0. Okay? So we have xn minus yn tends to 0, but f of xn minus f of yn doesn't tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. And therefore this function is not uniformly continuous. Okay, so likewise you can try examples of your choice and say what about function f of x equal to simple function, say root x on closed interval 0 to infinity. It is again of the type f of x equal to x raised to 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 is less than 1. So that's why this function is uniformly continuous. So you can try y root x, you can try fifth root of x, x to the power, say 5 by 7. All these type of functions are uniformly continuous. Is okay?
Yes,
What
sir.
about f of x equal to x into sin x? What about f of x equal to x into sin x? Is this function uniformly continuous?
Yes, sir.
Is this function uniformly continuous? Why this is uniformly continuous?
Composition of two functions.
This is a composition. Is it a composition
Oh,
or
no.
is it a product?
Product of two functions.
And is the product of two functions, are they uniformly continuous? First, they are uniformly continuous, okay? And
Yes.
when the product is uniformly continuous, provided they are bounded.
Yes.
Are they bounded?
No, sir.
On open interval, say 0 to infinity, or on R, are they bounded? So our function f of x equal to x into sine x. What do you think? Is it uniformly bounded or not? So uniformly continuous or not? Is this function uniformly continuous? You cannot use that the one function is uniformly continuous, other function is uniformly continuous, their product is uniformly continuous, provided they must be bounded. Means, example, say f of x equal to sine square x. Is it uniformly continuous function? F of x equal to sine square x means it is sine x into sine x. Is it?
Yes, sir. दोनों को uniformly continuous है.
And these both are uniformly continuous functions and both are bounded functions. This is bounded, this is bounded. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So both are bounded functions, and we know that if the two functions are uniformly continuous and if they are bounded, their product is uniformly continuous. So we have that criterion, no? Where is that? If f and g are uniformly continuous and bounded, if two functions are uniformly continuous and they are bounded, then their product is uniformly continuous. So by this condition, this is uniformly continuous. Agree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you take this x into sine x on, say, close interval to 200, is it uniformly continuous? Is this function uniformly continuous on to 200?
Yes, sir. इसको हो जाए.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is uniformly bounded on this set. Our underlying set is open interval 0 to infinity. Is it uniformly continuous on this set? So we are not sure, but here we are sure. This set is uniformly bounded on any subset of R. You take any subset of R, this is uniformly continuous. But x times sine x on open interval 0 to infinity, we are not sure. So let us check. X times sine x on open interval 0 to infinity. Okay. So here, can you construct a sequence xn and sequence yn so that xn minus yn tends to 0, but f of xn minus f of yn doesn't tends to 0? Because x sin x is involved or cos x is involved, immediately you go for the sequences. This is the important hint. Which sequence you can consider? So consider xn to be equal to, say, 2n pi, and yn equal to 2n pi plus something, so that it will tends to 0. Say 1 by n. Whether this xn minus yn tends to 0, will that xn minus yn tends to 0?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it is just 1 by n and it will tends to 0. Okay, xn minus yn becomes only 1 by n. But what is f of xn? It will be 2n pi into sine of 2n pi minus yn means, f of yn means 2n pi plus 1 by n into sine of 2n pi plus 1 by n. And what is this value? What is sine of 2n pi?
0.
0. And what is sine of 2n pi plus 1 by n?
Sine 1 by n.
This is equal to sine 1 by n. And where it will tends to?
0 की तरफ.
Hmm?
0 की तरफ.
Will it tends to 0?
Tends to 0 as n tends to infinity.
So therefore, where this 2n pi plus 1 by n into sine of 2n pi plus 1 by n will tend to.
फिर अगर इसको स्प्लिट करेंगे तो चेंज हो जाएगा थोड़ा. स्प्लिट करते हैं इसको.
What?
Means second term will be sine 1 by n, and then we multiply with both the numbers 2n pi times sine 1 by n plus 1 by n times sine 1 by n. Then in first वाले में जो पार्ट होगा सर, अगर n को डिनोमिनेटर में लेके जाएंगे, so अगर उसमें लिमिट अप्लाई करते हैं as n tends to infinity, तो वैल्यू sin 1 by n divided by 1 by n it will tends to, so 0 नहीं बनेगा वो फर्स्ट टर्म.
This will not tends to 0. Agree?
Yes sir.
So therefore, this xn minus yn tends to 0, but f of xn minus f of yn doesn't tends to 0. Please verify. Okay? So therefore, this function is not uniformly continuous. So what is the important trick here? That when you come across the function sine, cos and exponential function, so remember that you have to find out most of the time this trick will work. Xn minus yn tends to 0, but f of xn minus f of yn doesn't tends to 0. Okay? So this is the important trick when you are dealing with the sine function, cos function or exponential functions. Okay? So let us try some more examples. Say for example, f of x equal to say cos x into cos of pi by x on open interval 0 to infinity. What do you think? Are both the functions bounded? Are both the functions bounded? Are they uniformly continuous? Is cos x uniformly continuous function?
Yes sir, first part है uniformly continuous.
This is uniformly continuous. What about cos of pi by x? Is it uniformly continuous function? Is cos x uniformly continuous on open interval 0 to infinity? Answer is yes. Why? Why? Because it is a continuous function and derivative is bounded. Therefore, it is uniformly continuous. Number one. Number two is cos of pi by x. Is this function uniformly continuous on open interval 0 to infinity? Is this function continuous? Is this function continuous? Pi by x. Yes or no?
Yes sir, continuous.
This continuous function, is it bounded?
Yes sir. No sir.
This is not bounded here because as you increase, as you decrease, you are very close to 0. This value will be very large. So this is not bounded. This is not bounded. If it were bounded, you can use that both functions are uniformly continuous and bounded. Therefore, the product is uniformly continuous. But this is not the case. this is not a bounded function on this set. So what is the idea? Is find out sequence xn and sequence yn so that xn minus yn tends to 0, but f of xn minus f of yn doesn't tends to 0. Okay, so this is the hint, because only 5 minutes are left, so that let me quickly switch to the some functions, continuous functions with a simple examples. Say, give an example of a function f from R to R, which is continuous exactly at one point. Give an example of a function f from R to R which is continuous exactly at one point. Can you construct such a function which is continuous at exactly one point? And what is the point of your choice?
fx is equal to x if x belongs to rationals, and f is equal to minus x if x belongs to
F of x equal to x if x belongs to rational, equal to 0 if x doesn't belong to rationals. This function is continuous at,
x is equal to 0.
it is continuous at 0 only. Okay, 0 only. Now if I want a function to be continuous at 1, I want continuous function at 1 only. Can you give an example of a function which is continuous at exactly 1?
0 को replace
1
करेंगे.
point means this.
0 को 1 से replace करेंगे.
Replace 0 by 1.
Yes, sir.
X belongs to Q and 1 if X doesn't belongs to Q. Then it will be continuous at 1. So how we decide the continuity at a point? So continuity means equate these 2 points. X equal to 1. This is the point at which the function is continuous. X equal to 1. So what point you want? Can I replace this by square root 2? Okay. I want a function which is continuous at square root 2. So how you define a function? I want a function which is continuous at square root 2.
So ऊपर x minus root 2 कर सकते हैं.
Okay, so function f2x equal to x minus square root 2. X belongs to Q, and here what
0.
happens? Okay, so here 0. So that you can equate them, so that you will get x equal to root 2 is the value. So use this trick. Now, can you find example of a function from R to R which is continuous at exactly 2 points? Continuous at exactly 2 points. How you describe the function? How you find the function? So which points you want? Suppose points are a1, a2 are the points, real numbers at which you want the function to be continuous. So how you can find that?
x minus a1 times x minus a2 if x belongs to Q and the GT belong to Q.
It's not in Q. So you want exactly how many numbers? N numbers. So go on doing this. X minus a1, x minus a2, x minus a3 and so on. Because if you equate that to 0, so you will get that x equal to a1 and x equal to a2 are the points at which this function is continuous. So likewise, you can construct the functions which are continuous at exactly number of points where you want that function to be continuous. Now let us reverse the condition. Find out function which is discontinuous at exactly one point. Give an example of a function which is discontinuous at exactly one point. Give an example of a function which is discontinuous at exactly one point.
fx is equal to 1 if x is greater than equal to
F
0,
of x equal to 1,
if x is equal
say
greater than equal
greater than equal to
to 0
0.
and it is 0, x
It is equal to,
is
no, I'm not, your voice is not clear to me.
equal to 0 if x is 0
If x is equal to 0,
less than 0.
less than 0. Okay. Then what you are saying, this function has exactly, this function is discontinuous at exactly one point. What is the point of discontinuity?
X is equal to 0.
X equal to 0 is the point of discontinuity. And if I want the point of discontinuity to be equal to, say, 9 by 5, then will you apply the same technique?
Yes.
If I want the function to be discontinuous at 9 by 5,
Yes sir, x greater than equal to 9 upon 5 कर देंगे and x less than 9 by 5 कर
so
देंगे.
do here by 9 by 5 and do here by 9 by 5. Then this is the point of discontinuity. So some question, now I want the function to be discontinuous at exactly 2 points.
Sir,
Okay.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please.
I just want to know that Vishwajit Rai, who is interacting with you, whether he is a student or a faculty somewhere. Vishwajit Rai?
Student at the VSC
Good.
में.
From where you are?
RT College में Mumbai.
Okay, fine. I thought you are a faculty and you are interacting only, no? That's why I just asked. Yeah, okay, fine. If you are a student, you are good at maths then.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So shall I continue, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So for how much time I have to continue?
Sir, you can take it as per your convenience.
Okay.
At
So
11:30 we have started. You can continue.
okay. So if we want a function which is discontinuous at exactly 2 points, so how one can proceed? How will you obtain a function which is discontinuous at exactly 2 points? So 1 point one can understand. Here you change the point, x is greater equal that value at which you want the function to be discontinuous. So how will you find a function which is discontinuous at exactly 2 points? The continuity we know at 1 point, how to find continuity at 2 points, at 3 points, at finite number of points. How to find out a function which is discontinuous at exactly 2 points? So the trick is similar. In case of continuity, we did that x minus a1 and x minus a2 and 0 if x belongs to q and x doesn't belongs to q. So instead of that, just take the reverse. Take the quotient of this 1 upon x minus a1, x minus a2 and 0. And you can check that because at this point a1 and a2, this function is not defined. So therefore, this function is not continuous at these 2 points only. Otherwise, this function is continuous at all other points. Okay. So likewise, you can try for finitely many points. So question is, can you find a function which is continuous at only rational points and discontinuous at irrationals? So before that, let me ask the question. Find an example of a function which is continuous at, say, rationals and discontinuous at irrationals. Does there exist an example of a function which is continuous at rationals and discontinuous at irrationals? And does there exist an example of a function which is discontinuous at rationals and continuous at irrationals only? So for yes, please.
थॉमे फंक्शन से हम लोग यूज करते हैं मतलब नीचे वाले एग्जांपल के लिए, बट फर्स्ट वाले के लिए नहीं है कोई एग्जांपल.
Okay, so for first means which is written in the green for question in green, there does not exist such a function. Okay, but for two means which is written in red, what is the function? You try the function to be equal to f of x equal to 0 if x belongs to q dash and equal to say p by q, where with p and q are relatively prime and x is in q. So check that this function is discontinuous at rationals and continuous at irrationals. Okay, so verify. And there is no example of a function which is continuous at rationals and discontinuous at irrationals. So depending on the number of points of continuities and number of points of discontinuities, you can find out examples with the given tricks. So now quickly let us do the applications of say intermediate value theorem. So what is intermediate value theorem? It means that given a function f from closed interval ab to r, which is continuous, and if there is an intermediate value in between f of a and f of b, then this value will be attained. Then there exists a point in open interval ab such that this value is attained by, there is c in open interval ab such that that value is attained at some point in open interval ab. That is, this r is equal to f of c for some c in open interval ab. So this is intermediate value theorem for reals. So by using this as an application of this, we can try many examples. Say for example, let f and g are functions from closed interval ab to r. These functions are continuous, and if f of a is strictly less than g of a and f of b is strictly greater than g of b, then there exists a point, say x naught, in open interval ab such that f of x naught equal to g of x naught. So as an application of intermediate value theorem, because it depends on the continuous function, as an application of continuous function, always we can find a point x naught in open interval a b such that f of x naught equal to g of x naught. So how we can, so we have to have this situation. So for that, the trick is, consider function fx to be equal to, say, f of x minus g of x. I use this trick because both the functions are continuous, therefore their difference is a continuous function. So note that h is a continuous function. So being this a continuous function, what about the value of a? What is the value of h of a and what is the value of h of b? What is the value of h of a?
f of a minus g of a.
F of a minus g of a. And what is f of a minus g of a? This value becomes negative because f of a is less than g of a. So this value is less than 0. And what about h of b is equal to f of b minus g of b. And because f of b is strictly greater than g of b, this value is strictly positive. So we have situation here is that h of a is less than 0 and h of b is greater than 0. And h is a function because f and g both are functions from closed interval ab to r. So h is a function from closed ab to r. And therefore, and this function is continuous. So by intermediate value theorem, any value in between this h of a and h of b is attained by the function h at some point of open interval ab. So by intermediate value theorem, there exists x naught which is in open interval ab such that h of x naught equal to 0. But what is h of x naught? Is nothing but f of x naught minus g of x naught, which is equal to 0. It means that these two are equal. So as an application of this continuous function or intermediate value theorem, we can have as many examples one can try of this type. Say for example, so can you prove that or show that 1 minus x into cos x equal to sin x has one solution in open interval 0, 1. 1 minus x into cos x equal to sin x has one solution in open interval 0, 1. So the trick is same. You can use the intermediate value theorem. Consider function fx equal to 1 minus x into cos x minus sin x. And now this function is a continuous function because these two functions are continuous. This is a continuous function. Their difference is a continuous function. And now the domain is open interval 0, 1 and use what is the value at 0, what is the value at 1, find out and say that use the intermediate value theorem and conclude that this function has a solution at open interval 0, 1. So likewise, there are as many equations of the type where you can apply the intermediate value theorem. Okay, so I think it's a time to stop. So whatever things I have discussed, depending on this 10 points, you can try as many examples with the combinations of these 10. So it's a very good exercise to check that construct your own examples and verify that whether they are uniformly continuous or not. Okay, so only these 10 points are enough to convince yourself whether given function, because you can construct your own examples from this, that for example e to the power 2x plus cos 2x plus 3x plus 7 plus sin x into cos x, if this function is uniformly continuous or not. So such a type of functions you can construct by your own and convince yourself by using these 10 points. Okay, so I think it's time to stop, but it's very interesting to interact with you all. And so, shall I speak something in Marathi?
Yes, sir, sure.
Please allow me to speak. फिजिकल मोडमध्ये प्रत्यक्षात तिथे येऊन मुलांशी इंटरॅक्ट करणं हा वेगळा अनुभव असतो, आणि ऑनलाईन मोडमध्ये इथं बसून शिकवणं, कारण रिस्पॉन्स समजत नाही. कारण जेव्हा मी इथून बोलतोय आणि इथून लिहितोय तर मला कळत नाही की कितीपर्यंत मुलांपर्यंत पोहोचतंय. ह्या ऍक्टिव्हिटीचा जो मेन उद्देश आहे तो उद्देश सर होतोय का नाही आय एम नॉट शुअर. पण मुलांसाठी जे आता या समोर आहेत त्यांच्यासाठी जी काही गोष्ट मी सांगेल की प्रत्येक गोष्टीला टच करणं शक्य होत नसतं. तुमचे प्रत्येक प्रश्न अटेंड करणं ह्या ऑनलाईन सेशनमध्ये शक्य होईल का नाही माहिती नाही, पण तुम्ही शांतपणे ऐकून घेतल्या सगळ्या गोष्टी आणि काही मुलांनी खूप चांगल्या पद्धतीने रिस्पॉन्ड केलं, तर प्रत्यक्षात तुम्हाला येऊन भेटून तुमच्याशी बोलायला नक्की आवडेल. तर या नोटवरती आय थिंक आय विल स्टॉप हिअर. आय really thank all the organizers for giving me this platform to express my views and to share my thoughts about at least one topic, but I will be happy to come to your department and interact with the students. Okay, so बघूया कधी संधी मिळते तशी.
आम्ही वाट बघू सर नक्की.
येस, नक्की.
तुम्ही तर फिजिकली आलात आणि लेक्चर घेतलं तर तो इम्पॅक्ट खरंच खूप छान झाला.
म्हणजे टीचर ऍज अ टीचर आमचे रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स असे आहेत की आम्हाला मुलांचे चेहरे पाहूनच कळतं की काय चाललंय, काय समजते. ऑनलाईन सेशन मध्ये तुम्हालाही आता मुलांना जास्त लक्षात आलंय की अरे हे शिक्षणाची पद्धत नाही, ही शिकवण्याची पद्धत नाही. ओके, तर सो दॅट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड. काही प्रश्न असतील तर माझा नंबर त्याच्यावरती आहे, मॅडमकडे आहे, आणि त्याला मी रिस्पॉन्ड करेन काही प्रश्न असतील तर. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it was really a nice and informative lecture. You have given many aspects on continuity, uniform continuity with lot of examples. And whatever the short tricks you told to our students that are really beneficial for them for appearing the SETNET examinations, because these tricks will help them a lot. So it's a really nice lecture, sir. Thank you on behalf of us. If any student want to share any thought on this, then it is welcome. Anyone want to speak? Yeah, okay, fine. Sir, we will go for vote of thanks then. I request Kohli sir, I think, na? Yeah, I request Mr. Vishal Kohli sir to put vote of thanks for this program.
Sorry, ma'am. Actually, he told me to do.
Yeah, okay, Uzma ma'am, you can put a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks for today's lecture. As we are in our popular mathematics lecture week, for the second day, we were having our guest lecture as a Dr. Sachin Ballal sir. First of all, I will thank to the National Council of Science and Technology Communication, DST, Government of India, and Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, Government of Maharashtra. Now I will thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam, Dr. Gurnalini Fadnavis Madam, for giving us a permission and motivating us for arranging such a big event. And I will thank for our guest lecturer, Dr. Sachin Ballal sir, for delivering a lecture on the continuity and uniform continuity, which is a very important topic for our student, because nowadays due to online lectures, students are not very much aware about the basic concepts of our real analysis, starting from continuity, uniform continuity. Sir has explained each and every point bit to bit. Explanation was very nice. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering a very nice lecture. And then I will thank our HOD ma'am for arranging this event, Dr. Jyoti Mashare madam for arranging this event, and last but not the least, our all the students and participants from the different colleges and universities who has attended this program. Thank you, and we will hope that you will cooperate with us. Thank you once again. Okay, ma'am.
थँक यू बल्ला सर.
Okay,
पुन्हा
thank
एकदा
you very
मनापासून
much.
आभार.
And
तुमच्या
all the
बिझी
best
शेड्यूल
for the
मधून तुम्ही
students. Hi, madam. Yes, madam.
तुमच्या बिझी शेड्यूल मधून तुम्ही वेळ दिला याबद्दल खरंच मनापासून धन्यवाद.
हे मुलांशी बोलायला हे ऍक्टिव्हिटीज साधारणतः नेट सेट किंवा अशा प्रकारच्या ऍक्टिव्हिटीज होतच होत्या, पण आता हे ऑनलाईन प्लॅटफॉर्ममुळं या मुलांसाठीची अशा प्रकारची ऍक्टिव्हिटी जी कॉम्पिटेटिव्ह एक्झाम्सला त्यांना मदत होईल ही खरंच तुम्ही अरेंज केली. त्यामुळं ऍटलिस्ट काही मुलांना त्या कॉर्नरपर्यंत ह्या गोष्टी पोहोचतात. त्यामुळं तुमचं खरंच कौतुक आहे तुमच्या सगळ्यांचं, तुमच्या विद्यापीठाचं, की हा चांगला प्लॅटफॉर्म मुलांना उपलब्ध करून दिला. आणि इथं जे बोलणारे स्पीकर्स असतात त्यांना कमी वेळेमध्ये गोष्टी बोलायच्या असतात. समोरच्या मुलांचं बॅकग्राऊंड माहिती नसतं. तर जेव्हा फिजिकल काही गोष्टी सुरू होतील तेव्हा नक्कीच अशा प्रकारची ऍक्टिव्हिटी ही ऑफलाईन ऍक्टिव्हिटी अरेंज नक्की करा.
नक्की.
आणि खूप चांगली रिसोर्स पर्सन आपण तिथं येतील असं बघूया. आणि त्यावेळेस मुलांना प्रत्यक्षात बोलणं होईल.
हो सर, नक्कीच.
ओके,
चालेल.
थँक्यू मॅडम. थँक्यू युअर
sir.
टीम. सगळ्या टीमने खूप चांगली ऍक्टिव्हिटी अरेंज केली आणि मला बोलवलं, त्यामुळे तुमचे आभार. आणि
तुम्ही वेळ दिलात सर, ही सगळ्यात मोठी गोष्ट आहे आमच्यासाठी. थँक्यू ऑल डिअर स्टुडंट्स ऑल्सो. थँक्यू सो मच. ओके सर, थँक्यू.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. ओके, शॅल आय लीव्ह नाव?
येस सर, येस सर.